What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Oh yeah, y'all, you guessed it. It is time to test out those dragons. I personally am not a huge fan of the changes to the dragons, but on that same note, I do love me some Countess, and I'm just not willing to give up on them. I want to still use dragons, as I just think they're the coolest thing ever. So we're here on Chaos 10 Unholy Catacombs. We're going to do a build similar, yet different, than what I normally would have done for kind of an AFK farm build for this map. So we are going to start off by using some werewolf commanders. The werewolf commanders did get a little bit of a nerf as well. However, they're just so beast, it just doesn't really matter. They're still able to outshine just a lot of other defenses, in my opinion. They're not a damaging defense. A lot of people were talking about their damage. They are a wall, and they just do an incredible job at being a wall. Now, all right, we've got, 590 DU left. Now, previously, what I would have done was put a big old stack of dragons right up here, super buff them all, and, yeah, we win. But we look in this situation, these dragons won't even make it to that wall over there, so that's just not going to be a viable option anymore. So with the dragons range changing, as I focused on yesterday, trying to get more power out of it, so we put in that power transfer shard, still using the same relic, just swapped over that one shard, got rid of the movement speed. So my dragons are no longer zoomers, but they don't have very far to go. Now, this map, of course, is unique in that it's got this lower lane here, which is going to be just perfect for a dragon build, since dragons kind of have the wall hacks. Now, since I forced the use of the werewolves here, I don't have enough DU to build it like I normally would. So, going to have to adapt. Usually, of course, I would always make sure to use a buff beam and a boost aura and destructive pylon. In this situation, just not going to have enough juice. So, with that in mind, we are going to go with just a destructive pylon. Nothing else. No other goodies up in there. Just destructive. And then that's going to give us some DU left over just for a... just kind of like a support Skyguard tower. We'll slap that in up here just to give us a little bit of help versus those flyers, since the dragons do have that limited range. Now, before the nerf, I would have played this build with my big dragon stack up here full AFK, so we can't really judge it versus an old build unless we go full AFK. Now, of course, obviously, this is not a Siege Roller Drakenlord sort of map or sort of setup, so we will have to intervene with any Siege Rollers or Drakenlords that come, but just kind of want to see how these dragons do in this scenario. With just a change on where we place the dragons, basically. So we moved them from the top to the bottom, and am not giving them anywhere near as much power. So no boost aura, no buff beam, just dragons with a destructive pylon. It does have a range pylon on them too, so I'm getting a little bit of range value out of that. I'll look at the dragon tooltip here in a moment, in between waves. Actually, we can just do it right now. We're AFK, for God's sakes. So at tier 1, the tooltip DPS is 864,000. The attack range is 2455. So, still doing decent damage. Not in the millions, of course, as far as tooltip DPS. But looking like it is still enough to get the job done. As we see, looking at the mini-map, or just looking around the map here, everything is evaporating quite quick. Now, nice additions would, of course, been like an anti-heal. I do have anti-heal on the reflect beam, but nothing is getting the value of that until it's practically right on top of my werewolf, of course. It's not as pretty. The enemies are not dying as far out, but my werewolves are at full health so far. I'm sure they're going to take some damage here. But they're still at full health for the moment. They're full health-ish. That guy took a little shot. But they're holding pretty strong. Completely just chilling. So this map, of course, although this is a very ideal map for this time of setup. Not trying to pull any wool over anyone's eyes. Obviously, this was a hand-picked map, but one of the reasons it was a hand-picked map is because it's super popular. This is a very, very popular farm map to get clusters, particularly if you are looking to get clusters AFK. So good stuff there. I mean, it's not the fastest running. It would run slightly faster if we had the old range and all my dragons stacked up top. And there we go. Pretty smooth and easy wave 1, but see how wave 2 is going to go. We'll give these dragons a little bit of love. Just going to kind of spam it around here. Good enough, and we'll let it fly. And let's go back and assume the position. Sadly, we don't have a nice little perch where we can get up top high and look down and check it all out, but we're going to get a good example of what's going on here. We see a 4 Zerker rush. Did not make the wall. Very nice. I mean, dragons, although you get the big damage out of them, of course, when you can buff them and boost them and throw down, you know, the whole kitchen sink, they are quite good in their own. That's one of the reasons they were so popular, you know? They're clearing it out. They are definitely clearing it out. Even a big chieftain Zerg like that. Okay, here we go. We got some Frost Orcs rolling in. Let's see how it fares when the Frost Orcs get in here and freeze things up. Yeah, they still got wrecked. Were the dragons frozen? The dragons may have been out of range. I'm going to have to look. I'll check next wave and see if they're getting frozen up down here. Well, let's see. Do we have any Frost Orcs in this push? It doesn't look like it. No, none of the Magobus there. Everything relatively smoothly getting cleared. Here comes some Frost Orcs. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like either the Frost Orcs died off before they made it up, but it looks like the dragons might be out of the freeze range of the Frost Orcs down here. Yeah, hard to say, but that's what it looks like here. Now, normally, I would go down there and blast this Catacombs in the face, but I do want to give this one a fair AFK test, and only want to intervene if a Dragon Lord or a Siege Roller shows up. So we are just going to let that Skelly creep on up here. Oh man, he is moving slow, though. We'll still let him walk. We'll let him walk. I will pretend I'm off making a sandwich and not sitting here tapping my foot waiting for this Catacombs to get here. A pretty decent, you know. I mean, obviously, he's not just blazing fast burning, but relatively decent. This guy may actually cause problems, I think. depending on exactly where he respawns over the next several waves, that could be an issue right there. That's Lekelion. And, you know, of course, with more range, this Lekelion would have certainly died. Without a doubt. Let's see what happens here. Nope. Lekelion being Lekelion. He turned around and decided to go do his own thing. The problem here is that I put those werewolves too close to the core. It's Lekelion's cleave looks really close. Well, we got to deal with him 2 more times, so we will keep an eye on that guy in the future waves here. By no means a fast running map, but even turtling it before, it wouldn't have been a fast running map. There's a good little build up. Okay, now we got a siege roller. Gonna have to get on that guy a little. Alright, siege roller down anyway. Let's see how we're doing here. Everything got cleared out. It looked like there was maybe a big push coming up, but no, everything dropped. Everything definitely dropped. The challenge here is it just takes a little longer, which, you know, obviously turtle builds are not built for speed. So if you're going to turtle around the core, you're not going to be getting the maps done very quick. And that's one of the reasons why some people kind of hate on turtle builds. I personally love turtle builds. They bring a lot of fun, and I think everyone should focus on having fun because it's a game, for God's sakes. Have a good time while you're doing it. If you want to turtle, you turtle. It is the way. We all choose our own experiences. And I'm paying the price for making the slow build myself. I'm the one in here spending the extra time. But, you know, in true Sunday chill build fashion, definitely want to give this one a good AFK test here. And it's getting it. I mean, besides that Lekelion, that is the only thing that really has me nervous right now, is whether or not if that Lekelion spawns over here, I'm going to be screwed. Instinct to start shooting. Let me not shoot. Not shoot at old Tuskar and see what happens here. Tuskar's burning much quicker. All right, there goes wave number 3. So, I mean, altogether, this is pretty darn smooth. Like I said, the only thing that even has me remotely nervous at all is just that Lekelion, depending on where he's going to spawn. But if he keeps doing his little dirt move and walking the wrong way, then it's just going to save the day for me. But let's see what happens this time. This time he didn't do it, but he also didn't try to spawn on the other side of the werewolf, so should be fine here. Those big slaps, man, that is just so crazy close to the core, though. Oh, man. See, now he's right inside of the werewolf's little hitbox there. So, yeah, I'm very concerned about wave 5 with that guy. Now, you know, obviously, if you ignore Lekelion, it's going to spawn every wave. He's going to get closer and closer. So the range on the dragons would have helped that situation for sure, but it definitely would not have resolved it completely. If, you know, I just ignore it, it's going to act as though it is being ignored and walk right on up the lane. Oops. Sorry. Once again, habit. Shooting all the things. Alright, siege roller down. Everything's pretty readily getting slapped, though. See, and now we're, what, 16 minutes into this video. Obviously, I spent some time building and talking before, but I think the main difference with doing a build like this versus doing a spawn camp is right now, if we were doing a spawn camp, we would already be on map number 2. And it would definitely be complete, and we would be running on map 2. I think this is, you know, although this map is designed really, really well for throwing these dragons down here, especially with the wall hacks, a basic strategy change like this is going to be effective elsewhere. Now, what I should have done is used a different wall that was cheaper. You know, figure I got 30 DU left over right now, and I've got, what, an extra 90 DU dumped into those walls versus using like a training dummy. So that's 120 DU. If I would have just used training dummies, I could have a boost star down here on as well, or a buff beam, you know, whatever. So giving them more power would have definitely helped the individual time to kill substantially. But it is going pretty smooth altogether. There's a nice little push. Let's see what's going on over here. I mean, everything's still getting burned out. And Malthius in that Skelly spawning. Let's wait it out. I won't intervene on Malthius. We'll give it the true AFK test. Got a dragon on Malthius now. And there we go. So now we are on to wave number 5. I'm not going to bother with the mana on this one, and let's just get it flying here. Let's see, ooh, Slakelion is real close. Oh my god, look how close that swipe is to the core. Oh no, there it was. Alright, I'm going to have to intervene on that one. Now, I can't really say I call that the dragon's fault, but that was damn near a loss. That was a wall placement error, not a dragon error. Now, would it have still been an issue if the dragons had more range? Maybe not, but, you know, obviously I don't want to lose just for that. I mean, if the wall would be out just a little bit farther, then that would have been a non-issue. We got an Orc Warlord rolling up in the mid there. All still getting slapped. I need to change up my bow with the changes to the bow shot types. Definitely due for a fresh bow. Almost started shooting there. Looking good here. Looking good. Just about there. We're down to the last 140. You know, I still think this is a valid farm build. I mean, it's going to take you 20 minutes to run the map doing it like this. But doing the old way with throwing dragons up top here for a turtle would take a ridiculously long amount of time too. You know, speed running and AFK farming are not necessarily usually in the same conversation. Or the same sentence, that is for sure. Actually, I wonder now if a spawn camp would be better. You would have to shave down the amount of dragons pretty big. But if you walled it here and then just like threw the dragons right here, they're going to be able to reach real close to the spawn. Might be a better overall chill tactic now for this map and getting those clusters. Quibbly down. Now we're just waiting for Malthius again. Come on out, Malthius. Just about there. So, I mean, altogether, a really smooth test. That we had that Slakelion issue, but I do think the Slakelion issue was more of a wall placement thing versus a issue with the dragons. The dragons would have no doubt killed Slakelion faster on his initial approach, but if we're going full AFK, there's also no doubt that the Slakelion would have still been at the wall by the 5th round like that. But anyway, there we go, y'all. Let me know what you all think. What is, for all you dragon enthusiasts out there, what is your favorite map to grind now with the changes with the dragons? Although this one is a slow grind, I see this one as being really easy pickings for most folks and still getting a premium material, you know, getting the clusters is pretty huge for sure. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.